Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's the first
Jim Grim Geography.
episode 17.
Yes, we haven't been filming for a while. We've been
No.
posting, but we haven't been filming because of the holidays and all that prime rib we ate. So we don't eat a lot of red meat, but we're prime ribbed out.
Had a scary moment happen before we started.
Yes.
Chair broke on me.
Yes. One of our good chairs. And it kind of scared the crap out of all of us.
Almost went backwards. The back broke.
Yes.
It's great.
It was, yeah. I didn't know what happened. I was in the kitchen unloading the dishwasher, and all of a sudden I heard this big boom. I thought she had dropped her computer, but no, the back of the chair had come off, and she was just hanging there.
So I do have a different case for us to look at today.
Okay, I guess it's something we've not done before.
It's very interesting, and I'm just curious about what everyone's take is.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of different types of shows. We've been watching Missing. We've been watching I'm a Killer. We've been watching all sorts of different ones. Scary People. Yeah.
So I'm taking us to 1985, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And it is going to be slightly different, and you'll understand why at the end.
Okay.
So we are focusing actually on the person versus the crime.
Okay. The person that was murdered.
The person that did it.
Okay.
Which we do, but
yeah, we don't normally do it.
But there is a reason behind this.
Okay.
So on February 25th, 1985. So this is what happened.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it.
Okay.
And as far as I'm aware, I'll tell you at the end, actually, what I'll tell you at the end, because that might spoil this whole thing. So on February 25th, 1985, and July 2nd, 1985, two fast food managers, John Davidson and Thomas Wayne Vason, were killed in separate incidents during armed robberies at their fast food restaurants in Birmingham.
Okay.
There was a survivor of a third restaurant robbery. That was Sidney Smotherman, and they picked a photo of Anthony Ray Hinton, then age 29, from a lineup, and the police investigated him. At the time, Hinton worked at a supermarket warehouse and lived with his mother, Bular Hinton, at her home in rural Alabama, about half an hour north of Birmingham.
Okay.
That is what happened.
Okay. So supposedly he killed two people
and injured a third.
In three different armed robberies.
At fast food restaurants.
Okay.
Shortly after his arrest. So I'm gonna just bluntly say this. Anthony Ray Hinton is black. And we are in Alabama.
Yes. I knew you were gonna say that.
So shortly after his arrest, Detective Doug Acker told Hinton, "I don't care whether you did or didn't do it. In fact, I believe you didn't do it, but it doesn't matter. If you didn't do it, one of your brothers did, and you're going to take the rap."
How come I knew you were going to tell me that?
He goes on to say, "I can give you 5 reasons why they are going to convict you.
You're black.
Number 1.
You're black. You're black. You're black. And you're black. Did I get that right? That was 5. You're black.
Essentially, number 1, you're black. Number 2, a white man gonna say you shot him. Number 3, you're gonna have a white district attorney. Number 4, you're gonna have a white judge. And number 5,
you're gonna have a white jury.
You're gonna have an all-white jury."
How did I know you were gonna say that? And you know, I just leaned back in this chair, which I shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting with these chairs now because they're sketchy now and scare me. Hinton's public defense attorney
was white.
Did not provide adequate counsel.
Yeah, because he was white.
Upon meeting Hinton, he said, "Listen, all y'all are always doing something and saying you're innocent."
That was his attorney?
To him.
Oh, God.
The credibility... So he hired a ballistics expert. So essentially, he was convicted on a single piece of evidence from this crime.
The guy who said he did it? I mean, what was the...
You'll find out. So the credibility of his ballistics expert, the only one the attorney thought he could hire with the funds available, was discredited by the prosecutor due to the expert's physical limitations and lack of experience. The jury disregarded the testimony of Hinton's boss, who testified that he was at
work.
Yep, he was at work during the time of the murders.
Was the boss black too?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The prosecution's only evidence at the trial was a statement that ballistics tests showed 4 crime scene bullets matched Hinton's mother's gun, which was discovered at her house during the investigation. No fingerprints or eyewitness testimony were introduced. Hinton was convicted of each of the 2 murders and sentenced to death.
That can't be good.
No. So in June 1988, the unanimous Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals affirmed Hinton's conviction and death sentence.
Of course they did.
In June 1989, that judgment was affirmed again by the unanimous Supreme Court of Alabama.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this guy, whether I'm not saying he didn't do it, I'm just saying he didn't stand a chance.
No, they had no other suspects or anything.
No, it's just like when the husband, when the wife dies, the husband dies, so is the spouse.
It usually is.
It usually is, but they don't look anywhere else. Not like, not like the son, the daughter, or the son-in-law or the daughter-in-law or
their siblings. Yeah.
Or their siblings. It's always the spouse. Now, if my husband died, it definitely would be the spouse. I'm kidding. I've been with my husband for 35 years. It would have already been done.
Yeah. I mean, he already banned us from asking him to buy stuff when he's half asleep.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. We used to, so when he was so we didn't know he was half asleep. We'd ask him to buy us something. He would buy it for us. It would arrive. And he'd go, when did I say you'd buy this? And we're like, the other night. And he'd go, was I asleep? And we're like, no, you were awake. And so he
was having full conversations with us, too.
Full conversations with us. So we thought he was awake. So we're now banned to have him buy us stuff. We're banned from buying stuff after like 6 o'clock.
It's more like 9 now.
Yeah, we're not allowed to.
It was funny.
It was really funny. I got all sorts of crap.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did my sisters. We all benefited.
We all got stuff.
So Hinton was sent to death row in Holman Correctional Facility, where he was held in solitary confinement for over nearly 30 decades. 3 decades. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm tired. 3 decades.
3 decades.
During his decades in prison, he was supported by his mother's faith in his innocence, as well as that of longtime friend Lester Bailey, who visited him weekly. Hinton's mother did sadly die in 2002.
Of course she did.
So while on death row, Hinton spent much of his time reading. He organized a book club that was allowed to meet in the prison's law library. Among the authors whom the prisoners read and discussed were James Baldwin and Harper Lee, which Harper Lee is famous for having that, Boo Radley, To Kill a Mockingbird?
Yes.
That was a great book.
Yeah.
So after a few years, the club grew as the news spread quickly in the prison. That reading essentially was a good escape for them.
Yes.
However, the number of members also gradually became smaller when book club members were executed. A total of 54 men walked past Hinton's cell on their way to execution. Hinton would smell burning flesh from the electric chair, also called Yellow Mama, which I actually did not know that term.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Because it was close to his cell. Finally, Hinton was the last original book club member left on death row.
Wow.
So his initial appeals continued to be handled by his public defender, Sheldon C. Perhax, who lost each of his cases.
Why does that surprise me?
Perhax is great. He is fantastic. He hired a civil engineer who had impaired vision and didn't have any forensics experience as his ballistics expert in Hinton's case. That's who testified.
I have no idea what to say to that.
Nope. So the engineer said that there wasn't any connection between the weapon and the shooting. However, the jury disregarded, as I said earlier, his testimony because of his poor eyesight and an inability to use the microscope correctly.
How hard is it to use a microscope?
If you have...
I used it in high school and it wasn't very hard.
Only has like one eye.
He only has one eye?
Yeah. He had impaired vision. I think
impaired vision means you wear glasses. It doesn't mean you have one eye.
I think he did. I think he was blind in one eye.
Oh, God.
So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this guy didn't stand a chance. He didn't stand a chance. He had an alibi.
Mm-hmm.
He had an alibi.
So Doug Acker, the detective I told you about earlier, attempted to persuade Hinton to sign a blank sheet of paper telling him that it was just to confirm that he had already read his rights. Hinton declined to sign it, which was actually really smart because signing a blank piece of paper,
yeah,
they can write whatever they want on that.
They sure do.
So additionally, Hinton's boss, as I said earlier, testified that Hinton was working at the time of the incident and that he was cleaning the supermarket. Despite this, the jury still convicted him.
If I was a white jury in Birmingham, I wouldn't have convicted him. But in 1984, with all the other, who knows? Who knows? Mm-hmm. It would have been a hung jury.
After Hinton had been on death row for about a decade, Brian Stevenson at the Equal Justice Initiative, a nonprofit based in Montgomery, Alabama, picked up his case, handling his defense for 16 years.
Okay, so we're at 26 years.
Mm-hmm. During the appeals, the EJI introduced evidence from three forensic experts, including one from the FBI, showing that the bullets from the crime scenes did not match Hinton's mother's gun. But the State Court of Alabama refused to overturn his convictions or grant a new trial.
Even though it didn't match?
Mm-hmm. It was because they didn't want to do the investigation. Let's be real here. They found someone, they made him the scapegoat. Why would we open that can of worms?
Because it might open other cases.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people have I seen on TV that say they would rather let a guilty person go than convict innocent people?
Yeah, but in practice, like speaking on that, yeah, it's well, but like in practice, it's not always possible.
No, it's not. I mean, you know that they've executed innocent people. You know they have, mm-hmm. because they found innocent after they've killed them.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, there's one case that always reminds me. I can't remember the name of it, but they found him innocent literally the day after they executed him.
Yes, I mean, or they find the guy, 30 years down the line because of DNA and mm-hmm. stuff like that. So I don't know.
So in February 2014.
Okay, so that's about 30 years.
The United States Supreme Court vacated the state court conviction in a unanimous per curiam decision.
Okay.
The court ruled that Hinton's original defense lawyer had provided quote-unquote constitutionally deficient, ineffective assistance of counsel.
Yeah, thanks.
And remanded his case to the Alabama State Court for a retrial. Hinton's original defense lawyer had wrongly thought he had only $1,000 available to hire a ballistics expert to review the state's case on evidence, which was not true. He had more. The only expert willing to testify at that price was the civil engineer, as I said, with very little ballistic training and limited by having one eye.
Okay, so he only had one eye. When you say, my eyesight isn't great without glasses. So to me, when you say, I just assume you mean that they need glasses.
No, one eye.
Okay, so the guy only had one eye.
And he admitted in court to having trouble in operating the microscope.
Oh.
Anthony Ray Hinton did not stand a chance in that.
No, he did not. Okay, so here. Meet my expert witness. He's blind in one eye. He can't use a microscope, but you got to believe everything.
And he's a civil engineer.
He's a civil engineer.
And they called him for forensic.
Everything for about forensics.
For ballistics forensics.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He didn't stand
and the guy sat on death row for how many years? 30? Until somebody did something about it? Mm-hmm. He's lucky he wasn't executed.
In November 2014, the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals closed Hinton's case. On April 1st, 2015, the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office moved to drop the case. Their forensics experts were unable to match crime scene bullets to Hinton's mother's gun. Prosecutors admitted that they could not match 4 bullets found at the crime scene with the gun, and that was the only evidence offered in the original murder trial.
So they admitted that they railroaded him?
Uh-huh.
I wonder how much money he got.
So on April 3rd, 2015, Hinton was released from prison after Laura Petro, a Jefferson County Circuit Court judge, overturned his conviction and the state dropped all charges against him.
Tell me he got a huge settlement.
I actually don't know what the settlement was.
So he sat in jail for 30 years.
Death row, solitary confinement, death row.
30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get some money. He's going to get paid.
Oh, okay. I actually have that information for you.
And what about that damn attorney that took him? See,
so Hinton is the 152nd person since 1973 to be exonerated from death row in the United States, and the sixth in the state of Alabama. He said, "Everybody that played a part in sending me to death row, you will answer to God." Hinton filed a claim for nearly $1.5 million in compensation for his time in jail due to the wrongful conviction. The legislator has resisted approval of this payment, as state authorities say that they did not prove his innocence. So essentially, they're saying, yes, you're innocent, but you didn't prove that, so we're not paying you.
So he didn't get paid?
This was, as of late 2022, Hinton still has not received any compensation from Alabama.
I would just pay and let it go, because he could end up with more money.
Well, he is very famous now. He is a motivational speaker. He does he's written several books about being on death row and what it was like. He has done commencement ceremonies. He has done a lot about wrongful conviction. He works a lot with all that.
Oh my God. Could you imagine sitting first of all, sitting on death row
in Alabama.
In Alabama, Holman is notorious. Okay. Forget about death row. Like, if you ever see the shows on death row at the one in California, what is it called? It's across from Alcatraz. The death row is all together, and the things aren't
San Quentin.
San Quentin. It's not all, they're open cells. I mean, the cells are all there, but they're not closed off from one another. I mean, they don't share walls, but they can still talk to each other, but they're not allowed out together. So I guess they are solitary confinement. I mean, Holman, it's solitary confinement. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't talk to the cell next to you. So, I mean, that's crazy.
30 years he sat on death row. And he said that quote from the detective, you're going to take the rap anyway, he says that whole interrogation still haunts him to this day.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't wait to what you people have to say about this. I mean, no, we haven't done one on an innocent person.
No, and that's why, and as far as I'm aware, that case is now unsolved.
Yeah. I mean, so you have a guy that was convicted for something he didn't do, which is ultimately innocent, and it's reversed.
And a person who did commit it is gone free for 30 years.
Yes, and you have somebody who died.
2 people died, 1 injured.
And nobody
is answering for
it. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say to this.
But I was going through something, and I found this case, and I was like, we've never done this.
No, we actually don't really like going on and on about the killers. So we've been watching this I Am a Killer on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And the one last night, I had to turn it off because it was about a guy who had the worst childhood ever. I mean, literally, I couldn't watch anymore. It was so sad. I'm not saying that makes it okay for him to kill, because every person who had a worse childhood, there'd be so many more killers. It was so sad. I didn't even know what to say to it. It was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that he was starving, that I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. So, but definitely want to hear what people think about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you imagine being Black in Birmingham and, sitting on death row for 30 years for innocent for something you didn't do?
No, and that's why I think like people of color are like so amazing and like strong.
Yes.
Because the shit they get put through, like I can't even like fathom it.
No.
And I think that they are amazing and incredible. And I have met so many amazing people.
Yes. Yes.
And they don't deserve what happens.
No, they don't deserve what goes on. And, they've dealt with it for, hundreds of years. So, okay. I guess we're done for today.
It's a shorter episode. My knee is still hurting.
Yeah.
The fall.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Bye.
Goodbye.